Welcome. You're with the Nasty Pastor, and I'm back with another read from out of Exodus. The second book, Moses was inspired to write. You feel me? Inspired. You know, there was a lot of motivation going on in Upper Kemet. You feel what I'm saying? A whole lot of motivation. You feel me? You know, when you think about the time of that dynasty, it was at its highest. It was at its peak. We're talking about 700,000 Jews captive. Come on now. 700,000. How did it get? Come on. What did y'all bring? What did y'all come into our borders with? The whole civilization, the whole culture. And come on, 700,000? That's a lot of Jews in one continent. You feel what I'm saying? 700, not 7,000. 700. We're talking about almost a million. And the Jews that left in the departure, even the Kemites, there was like 300,000 Kemites. Put it this way, the number of people that left out of Kemet was 1.5 million. You feel me? 1.5 million or 1.3 million. You get me? We're talking about 300,000 and something Kemites that didn't agree with what was going on and felt Moses would be a better leader. You get me? Would be a better leader. You got it? Man, you better how to put this, you better really understand that just because you're in a culture that saved your life, or you're in a culture from your birth, you feel me? From your birth, that you can't walk away. You can walk away. Believe what I tell you, you can walk away. If there's something in a culture that you have been raised in that you're not understanding, that is not connecting dots with you, walk away. Walk away. This is a shell. You can't even reach in and pull your soul out to see yourself for real. This is a shell. You get me? A shell. Got it? You need to dig into your soul to see yourself. And when you dig into your soul to see yourself, you're going to realize how beautiful you are. You're going to realize it. That was some of my steps. That was some of my process from getting out of my insecurities. You feel me? You get me? Because see, what I saw in my soul was evil. But when I chipped away the evil, chipped away and put a good foot forward to do some good, I said, yeah, that's a beautiful man right there. I looked in the mirror and told myself, you're beautiful. That's right. I don't need your validation. I got my own. We on chapter 18, and the title is Jethro's Advice. And Jethro, the priest of Midian, Moses' father-in-law, heard of all that God had done for Moses and for Israel, his people, that the Lord had brought Israel out of Egypt. Now, how many fathers did Moses have? Come on now, let's talk about it now. Now, Abraham laid with Seti's sister. Yeah, Seti's sister. Is that how it went? Is that? Come on now. Come on. Think about it. Give it to me, Demiurge. Give it to me. I know Abraham slept with an Egyptian, and I believe, slept with an Egyptian, a Kemite, an African, and birthed Moses. Okay. The sister came down to the Nile and found Moses, and let's just say adopted Moses, and brought Moses into the palace, into the kingdom, into the civilization. Now, who was Jethro? You get me? Jethro is his father-in-law. It said, no, Midian, priest of Midian. Moses' father-in-law heard of all that God had done for Moses and for Israel, his people, that the Lord had brought Israel out of Egypt. So who is Moses' father-in-law, and how does that appear in the, how does that happen in that particular time? Because the timeline off somewhere. When Moses was exiled, his sister, yeah, I think that was his sister, or that was his mother. They didn't leave with Moses. They went somewhere else, unless they already went into Canaan before he went into Canaan. You feel what I'm saying? So if it went that way, then I get father-in-law, because 9 times out of 10 is, as you know, as beautiful as these Egyptian Upper Africa Kenite women are. You got what I'm saying? They turn anyone's head. Anyone's. I don't care what culture, what race you are. You are attracted to black men. You are attracted to black women. Let's get into verse 2. Then Jethro, Moses' father-in-law, took Zipporah, Moses' wife, after he had sent her back, with her 2 sons, of whom the name of one was Gershom, for he said, I have been a stranger in a foreign land. And the name of the other was Eliezer, for he said, the God of my father was my help, and delivered me from the sword of Pharaoh. And Jethro, Moses' father-in-law, came with his sons and his wife to Moses in the wilderness, where he was encamped at the mountain of God. And now he had said to Moses, I, your father-in-law, Jethro, God Almighty. So Jethro is his father, and Jethro was a Midian priest. Okay, so that was the wife. That was the wife dad. I got you. They did show him in the movie of Exodus, because he went to ask for a hand, I believe so. Gotcha. I'm caught up. Look, I just woke up, took a shower, said my prayers, asked for the right words, and to display in this reading. So just give me a little moment to catch up with history. And Jethro, Moses' father-in-law, came with his sons and his wife to Moses in the wilderness, where he was encamped at the mountain of God. Now he had said to Moses, I, your father-in-law Jethro, am coming to you with your wife and her 2 sons with her. So Moses went out to meet his father-in-law, bowed down and kissed him. And they asked each other about their well-being, and they went into the tent. And Moses told his father-in-law all that the Lord had done to Pharaoh and to the Egyptians for Israel's sake, all the hardship that had come upon them on the way, and how the Lord had delivered them. Then Jethro rejoiced for all the good which the Lord had done for Israel, whom he had delivered out of the hand of the Egyptians. And Jethro said, Blessed be the Lord, who has delivered you out of the hand of the Egyptians and out of the hand of Pharaoh, and who has delivered the people from under the hand of the Egyptians. Now I know that the Lord is greater than all the gods, for in the very thing in which they behaved proudly, he was above them. Now let me say this to you so you can really understand this. You got what I'm saying? I want you to really understand this. Now I know that the Lord is the demiurge, is greater than all the gods, for in the very thing in which they behaved proudly, he was above them. The only thing that I don't agree with is the he part about the Lord. You feel what I'm saying? You get me? See, what the confusion is about men and women calling themselves gods and goddesses is that people pray to Jesus. You understand me? They don't know nothing else after Jesus. They don't know nothing else after Jesus. So when you look at the works of Jesus, and there's people telling you in the name, I'm a God, people are waiting to see a miracle. You feel me? A miracle. But what you're not understanding, if you're not in tune with whom you pray to. If you're not chosen to produce a miracle, then the demiurge is not going to use you right now. You're on the shelf. You're on ice. You feel me? You're not around the people or in the environment that the demiurge message need to be put out. And when I said put out, I mean put out in ears, put out in the air, put out in social media. You know, traveling. Words that's traveling. A message that travels. You get what I'm saying? Don't never let nobody tell you what you're not when you know what you are. Then Jethro, Moses' father-in-law, took a burnt offering and other sacrifices to offer to God, and Aaron came with all the elders of Israel to eat bread with Moses' father-in-law before God. And so it was on the next day that Moses sat to judge the people, and the people stood before Moses from morning until evening. So when Moses' father-in-law saw all that he did for the people, he said, "What is this thing that you are doing for the people? Why do you alone sit and all the people stand before you from morning until evening?" And Moses said to his father-in-law, "Because the people come to me to inquire of God." You get me? You get how Moses said God, but Moses should say Lord? You understand how King James did this, where that you're confused? Because you know this Bible, this particular version of the Bible has been rewritten. My Bible, let me mark this because I don't want to have to look for it. I want to jump back in. My Bible said Holy Bible, New, N-E-W, King James Version. Words of Christ in red, reference, Cordians, Nelson 3005. You understand? This has been revised. This has been rewritten. You understand? When they have a difficulty, they come to me, and I judge between one and another, and I make known the statutes of God and his laws. So Moses' father-in-law said to him, "The thing that you do is not good. Both you and these people who are with you will surely wear yourselves out. For this thing is too much for you. You are not able to perform it by yourself." And one more thing I want to say to you. If you a Muslim, what are you? A God, right? You a God, right? G-O-D, right? Because that's what I learned in the Muslim culture. You get me? Not just that Allah is God. And if Allah is just God, then Allah was no different than Jesus, than Horus. You understand me? A man that walked this earth. You feel me? You get it? You understand me now? Now, if a Muslim has came to you and questioned you about being a God and you're not a Muslim, why didn't you defend yourself? Why didn't you? And when I said defend yourself, why didn't you speak of intelligence, of intellect, to push them away? Listen now to my voice. I will give you counsel, and God will be with you. Stand before God for the people so that you may bring the difficulties to God. And you shall teach them the statutes and the laws, and show them the way in which they must walk and the work they must do. Moreover, you shall select from all the people able men, such as fear God, men of truth, hating covetousness, and place such over them to be rulers of thousands, rulers of hundreds, rulers of fifties, and rulers of tens, and let them judge the people at all times. Then it will be that every great matter that they shall bring to you, but every small matter they themselves shall judge. So it will be easier for you, for they will bear the burden with you. If you do this thing and God so commands you, then you will be able to endure and all this people will also go to their place in peace. So Moses heeded the voice of his father-in-law and did all that he had said. And Moses chose able men out of all Israel and made them heads over the people, rulers of thousands, rulers of hundreds, rulers of fifties, and rulers of tens. So they judged the people at all times. The hard cases they brought to Moses, but they judged every small case themselves. Then Moses let his father-in-law depart, and he went his way to his own land. That's the end of chapter 18. And let's, get back into what I said some sentences, some paragraphs ago. My next not next reading, but I know my steps where I'm going in my readings. I know the next book I'm gonna read. I know the next 2-3 books I'm gonna read. And when I get to the deconstructing of a God, I don't know what reading it was, but I've already looked up the definition, and I've spent a lot of time on this reading, and I try to minimize my readings to a length of your data. You're being able to use your data to view me. You understand what I'm saying? And I just say this to you, you know what I mean? That's a part of deconstructing of God, is breaking down someone that sees themselves as a God and knows themselves as a God, and you're testing them and you're belittling them, and you're using Jesus as a model to what a God is. You understand what I'm saying? I'm going to say this to you. You know not what you do. Here, you get it? You know not what you do, but you know who to go do it to. Come to me. Please come to me. Got me? Understand? I'm going to show you who you are. Anyway, you with the nasty pastor. There's been another chapter read from all the Exodus. I love you, and I'm out.